I'm kind of getting a voice back, so I wanted to take advantage of that. And I wanted to talk to you guys about something that they have been on me to talk about and post, and I just have not felt well. I still don't feel great, but I was able to get in work today, so any packages other than anything ordered in the last 72 hours have been dropped off at the post office, at the postal hub, and any readings that have been ordered before the past 72 hours, I think it's actually maybe the past 48, have either been uploaded and sent or are recorded and currently uploading. And please be patient with that, because I don't know why my phone service and internet and all this shit has been terrible the past week or two. I don't know if it's because like the cell towers in the eastern part of the state, that should have nothing to do with us, but like it's a struggle, okay, for Verizon. Like I don't know what they're doing. But I bet you they'll expect me to pay my bill on time. This is your weekly discount code. Let's talk about energy and allowing certain energy into your space. And there are two aspects of this that I want to cover. But the first one is letting people energy in your space. And then I want to talk about managing collective energy when it really affects you, when you're very tuned in, very empathetic, very, for those of you who might be having a hard time dealing with the fact that it just seems like the world is blowing up. So we're going to cover the collective energy part in part 2. But I want to cover the personal, like, people that you allow in your space part now. So any of you who are on, like, this spiritual journey, whatever you want to call it, it sounds so cheesy at this point, like, right? You may have noticed that a lot of you, oh, the chills, they're like, yes, talk about it. A lot of you may have noticed that since this started for you, each kind of evolution you go through, right? Each, I hate to call them upgrades, but each like level up, right? Every time you shed something old, you bring in something new. Or you're kind of letting go of old patterns or behaviors and you're entering into a new era, or letting go of phases, or whatever it is, right? You may find that you start reacting to things on a physical level. So for me, I've pretty much had to give up anything but like coffee I make at home. And I can't really do coffee often. They're telling me to quit the smoking. That we're going to fight over. I've been a smoker since I was 14 years old, 15 years old. That's not good. Don't do that. Bad. Very bad. Don't ever start. No one that you should be watching this, but if you are, don't do that. So that, we'll fight over that later. But, there are foods that I can't eat. So it's very hard for me now to eat fast foods. It's very hard for me to drink soda. I can't drink soda. I'm not a soda drinker anyway, but like I like to have one every now and then, Now I can't do it. It makes me sick. And sometimes I still do, and I suffer for it. But there are going to be things that you can't, like, energetically, your body does not align with anymore. Your body just rejects it. Now, that being said, I also have autoimmune issues. I'm not so lost in the sauce that I don't realize that some of these things are physiological, okay? But those autoimmune issues started in 2020, which was when my whole life changed, and like then it was the biggest spiritual awakening I'd had to date, and that led us here, right? So like, I've been a psychic my whole life, but I haven't been spiritual my whole life. So whatever, maybe it all ties in. And again, I obviously get checked by a doctor if there are things that are making you sick or unwell, but spiritually there are reasons for that too. And that brings me to, there are people, and especially I feel like now, and I don't know why this message is for now, but it is like now, there are people that a lot of you are going to come into contact with that are not going to align. Oh, the chills. They're like, yeah, bitch, talk about it. I'm getting there. That are not going to align with your energy, okay? And I don't say this in a spiritually elitist way, because when we talk about upgrades and whatever, it can sound that way. And I don't mean it that way. Everybody's just at a different place, right? Everybody's at a different level. And so that being said, there are going to be people that you notice cause the same reactions physiologically and energetically for you that a literal allergy or aversion would cause from something else, okay? And while it's so much easier to want to override that with people, right? Like, because we're like, oh, that's crazy. You can't be allergic to something. You can. You can. And right now you can't really see it well because the lighting is hiding my face. But if you go look back, probably 3 weeks ago, and look at how I looked in some of those videos, I'd have to get an exact date. I'll probably put it on the screen. As opposed to how I look now. Now, granted, I've been sick for almost 2 weeks. I just finished a round of antibiotics today. Might have started another round tomorrow. Obviously, being sick doesn't make you look great. But, we're going to get into this in part 2. We're going to go to part 2.